Welcome back on the AM show, and boy, do we have good news for you, education-wise. Well, we're telling you about Family Health Medical School, which received certification to operate all the way in 2014. Now, the first students that enrolled with the institution graduated in December 2020. That's some 6 years, right? So Dr. Rosalind Okoro is with the class of 2020 second-year house officer, pediatrics department at the Lekma Hospital. We also have Dr. Simon Sakite, class of 2021 first-year house officer, and he, that is internal medicine department. He is with the internal medicine department of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. Both of them join us for a conversation. Dr. Okoro, Dr. Sakite. We did that one. A very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So public universities have been, the sole institutions when it comes to medical training. We've known them, the Ghana Medical, School and all of that. But what made you choose to enroll with this institution, the Family Health Medical School? I'll start with you, Dr. Sakite.
Back in 2016, I saw an ad on UTV where a promotional segment was being made initially when the school was in its early years. And I remember the president was on air. And I mean, considering the fact that it was a new university that I had no idea about, was kind of a gamble, if I'm to be honest.
A gamble.
Yes, but I was really sold on the idea of having small class sizes because throughout my educational experiences, I've realized that the learning environment is better when the student sizes are small. And
More time for you, the student.
Yes, and that's something that I was really sold on, and which was probably one of the prime reasons why I chose Family Health Medical School.
That's interesting. For you, Dr. Okoro, what was the motivation? What got you there?
I think I've always wanted to go to medical school. I've had other degrees in biochemistry and oil and gas. And a friend actually mentioned it to me because his brother was going there and told me that there was a new school that was opening. So if I'm interested, I could give it a try. And I researched on it online, and I realized that, like you mentioned, the very small class size as compared to the public schools, and also the teacher-to-student ratio was much better. And I was like, okay, let me take the risk. If anything at all, I still have 2 degrees I can fall back on if it doesn't go too well, but it was worth it.
But that's an interesting mix, though. Biochemistry, oil and gas, and medicine. Why you want to do everything? So.
Yes, I want to collect all the money.
That's on the lighter side. But Dr. Sakite, so tell us about your experience at this institution, the Family Health Medical School. What was it like? Was it worth the gamble?
It was. Eventually, it was worth the gamble. I mean, 6 years is a long time to spend in medical school. I have a lot of memories that I have made. I have learned a lot of valuable lessons along the way, and I made friends who are now 10 colleagues.
Is Dr. Okoro one of them?
Yes. Yes. I really enjoyed my time in school. Medical school is voluminous. There's a lot of things to learn, but it's a very character-building experience because you get to, learn a lot in terms of relating with human beings as persons. Because in the profession, it is not just about the amount of knowledge that you can have, but how exactly you can concentrate that and impact someone's life. And I really found that to be a very valuable life lesson.
And talking about impacting lives, we know about the paucity when you look at the doctor-to-patient ratio across the continent, not just in Ghana and all of that. There are some gaps that we have to fill if we're looking at UN standards and all of that. But for you, what was your experience like? I mean, I'm sure people who are watching you now are eager to find out. If it's not mainstream like this, you went this way. What was the experience like over, 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years. It was great. It had its downsides, but in all, I could say it was a wonderful experience. Looking at what we mentioned about the class size, it was very good.
How small are the class sizes?
30 students.
30 students.
Compared to like 150 in the public schools.
So that's like times 5.
Yes, in the other schools. So you realize that your consultants, your lecturers know you by name. You can actually, it has its bad side though. Sometimes you want to hide, but then You have to still, they know your name. If you have issues, if you have any challenges when you're studying, you can actually go to them and speak to them and they'll take you through it. So you feel there's a more, like the name called, the family. It's the small family.
It's close-knit like that.
Yes, very close-knit, and you learn a lot from it. You make friends for life who turn family eventually. So I think the experience has been wonderful.
Well, 6 years on, after biochemistry and oil and gas, you can call yourself a doctor. How does that make you feel?
Well, I'm proud of myself.
Obviously.
I think.
You should be.
I should be.
Yeah,
I
you
deserve it. I've earned it. Yes, it makes me feel good, not just being called a doctor, but knowing that I'm impacting lives positively, saving lives. People walk to you. You get all sorts of messages from your patients about how you've changed their lives, how you've even assigned even your patients. I have other students who want to go to medical school that reach out to me and ask me to mentor them, to take them through the training, because it can be very, very draining on your physical, your social, your mental, every aspect of your life.
Right.
So if you don't have the right people to guide you through it, it can be, you can give up easily. So being in that position, being gone through that, and now being able to direct people through that, I think it's a very humbling experience.
Dr. Sakite, for you, I mean, what does all of this mean? 6 years of, we better say, hard labor and coming out now with your dream fulfilled. What does it mean to you?
It feels surreal. I mean, it's since I graduated, I don't think it's up to a year, it's almost a year. But considering that this has always been like a childhood dream, it really feels like you are living in some...
That's one tick off your bucket list.
Yes.
Like, become a medical doctor.
Yes, a very big tick off my bucket list. And I mean, apart from that, I mean, it's not only about medical school, but the work itself, the fact that every time when I'm going to work in the morning, I know that I have a responsibility, that there are people depending on you. It makes you really feel, you know, it's a heavy burden to carry on your shoulders, but sometimes I feel grateful for the fact that I can actually
admit it makes you feel like Superman. Every time you get to work, you feel like, you know, yeah.
Well, I mean,
You have your days.
you have your days, exactly, because there are some times when it's I mean, despite everything you do, you can't really make that impact you want.
Yeah.
And that side still has some positive light to it, that it's a very character building experience, that it takes you through some sort of fortitude and changes you. So I mean, I think it's surreal for me.
And that's interesting because I have seen medical doctors, other health professionals, and sometimes you're simply stumped by a situation that comes up. Sometimes even after all your years of study and all your years of practice, you simply can't get around something. Sometimes 3 heads, 4 heads, and you still can't get it.
Yeah.
It's such a convoluted problem. Sometimes too, you've done everything possible. And I think that also makes us realize our humanness.
Yeah.
You've done everything possible,
Yeah.
but you see that this one, Charlie. So I guess it's an experience. You live and you learn as you go along. But for both of you, what then would be your final words for parents, guardians, other applicants to the Family Health Medical School after having experienced it and becoming medical doctors? What would be your message to them? I'll start with you, Dr. Okoro.
I think it's no longer a gamble. You've seen the products of the school. We are excelling in every aspect that we've been so far with our house jobs that we are doing. I think every parent, if your child wants to be a medical doctor, can choose Family Health Medical School, and you can guarantee that your child will come out a great doctor. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't.
That's some commendation. Okay.
Your child will come out as a great doctor. So I think parents and those who are like me have already been to school so many years and still want to follow their dreams should still take a shot at it. They shouldn't give up if that's what they really want. I think even as we speak, admission is in progress, so they can all start applying now.
Come on board.
Yeah.
For you, Dr. Sakite.
Yeah, so I mean, the work has been done. 2 batches have successfully come out. Like she said, it's no longer a gamble.
So it's what, 2020, 2021?
No, it's 2020. Yes, in 2021. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so it's no longer a gamble. I am a product, she's a product. We have mates everywhere. I would tell any prospective applicants that if you're making an option to go to medical school, you should squarely put Family Health Medical School as one of those options. And to parents and guardians, if your ward decides to choose a school, then you should support them all the way because eventually it is worth it.
All right, so for both of you, I want you to tell me about the precise location and the number to call. I'll start with you.
Okay, so Family Health Medical School is at Teshi. It's opposite the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Training Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the number to call?
050-726-1262.
So that's 0505.
Yes, 726-1262.
Okay, or you could also call 055 or 0553 017368. 0553 017368. The website is www.fhu.edu.gh. www.fhu.edu.gh. Well, thank you. Any maybe 15 seconds final words? Any final words? Or have you exhausted everything?
Final words to be to my parents. I know they are watching me.
Okay. So what do you have to say to them?
Hi, mommy. Hi, daddy.
I'm sure they've been very supportive.
I know they have been.
Dr. Saki.
I know my mom is at work, but my dad is watching me. To mom and dad, I love you. Thank you for all the support.
Oh, and to my sister, please. Else I will not. Hi, Yvonne. I know you're watching.
Okay, so you're afraid she'll single you out
Yeah,
for something
yeah,
if you fail
yes.
to mention her. Right? Okay, all right. So we've had joining us from the Family Health Medical School, graduates of 2020, class of 2020, class of 2021, Dr. Roselyn Okoro, who is actually with the class of 2020, second year house officer, pediatrics department, Lekma Hospital, and Dr. Simon Sakite, class of 2021, first year house officer, internal medicine department, Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Congratulations once more to you. And of course, if your dream is becoming a medical doctor, you know one of the places to go. We'll take a bit of a breather, and when we return, we'll wrap up the AM show for this Tuesday morning. Do stay.